The Feast of Bahá'í, Splendor. The Feast of Bahá'í, Splendor. Call out to Zion, O Carmel, and announce the joyful tidings. He that was hidden from mortal eyes is come. His all-conquering sovereignty is manifest. His all-encompassing splendor is revealed. Beware lest thou hesitate or halt. Hasten forth and circumambulate the city of God that hath descended from heaven, the celestial Kaaba, round which have circled in adoration the favorite of God, the pure in heart, and the company of the most exalted angels. Oh, how I long to announce unto every spot on the surface of the earth, and to carry to each one of its cities the glad tidings of this revelation, a revelation to which the heart of Sinai hath been attracted, and in whose name the burning bush is calling. Unto God, the Lord of lords, belong the kingdoms of earth and heaven. Verily, this is the day in which both land and sea rejoice at this announcement, the day for which have been laid up those things which God, through a bounty beyond the ken of mortal mind or heart, hath destined for revelation. Ere long will God sail his ark upon thee, and will manifest the people of Baha who have been mentioned in the book of names. Baha'u'llah. Say, God hath made my hidden love the key to the treasure. Would that ye might perceive it. But for the key, the treasure would to all eternity have remained concealed. Would that ye might believe it. Say, this is the source of revelation, the dawning place of splendor, whose brightness hath illumined the horizons of the world. Would that ye might understand. This is, verily, that fixed decree through which every irrevocable decree hath been established. Baha'u'llah. Rejoice with great joy, for God hath made thee the dayspring of his light, inasmuch as within thee was born the manifestation of his glory. Be thou glad for this name that hath been conferred upon thee, a name through which the day star of grace hath shed its splendor, through which both earth and heaven have been illumined. Baha'u'llah. We have demonstrated that all things are the recipients and revealers of the splendors of that ideal king, and that the signs of the revelation of that Son, the source of all splendor, exist and are manifest in the mirrors of beings. Nay, were men to gaze with the eye of divine and spiritual discernment, he will readily recognize that nothing whatsoever can exist without the revelation of the splendor of God, the ideal King. Consider how all created things eloquently testify to the revelation of that inner light within them. Behold how within all things the portals of the Rizvan of God are opened, that seekers may attain the cities of understanding and wisdom and enter the gardens of knowledge and power. Within every garden, they will behold the mystic bride of inner meaning, enshrined within the chambers of utterance in the utmost grace and fullest adornment. Baha'u'llah. These sons of truth are the universal manifestations of God in the worlds of his attributes and names, even as the visible sun that assisteth, as decreed by God, the true one, the adored, in the development of all earthly things, such as the trees, the fruits, and colors thereof, the minerals of the earth, and all that may be witnessed in the world of creation, so do the divine luminaries, by their loving care and educative influence, cause the trees of divine unity, the fruits of his oneness, the leaves of detachment, the blossoms of knowledge and certitude, and the myrtles of wisdom and utterance to exist and be made manifest. Thus it is that through the rise of these luminaries of God, the world is made new. The waters of everlasting life stream forth. The billows of loving kindness surge. The clouds of grace are gathered, and the breeze of bounty bloweth upon all created things. It is the warmth that these luminaries of God generate, and the undying fires they kindle, which cause the light of the love of God to burn fiercely in the heart of humanity. It is through the abundant grace of these symbols of detachment that the spirit of life everlasting is breathed into the bodies of the dead. Assuredly, the visible sun is but a sign of the splendor of that day star of truth, that sun which can never have a peer, a likeness, or rival. Through him all things live, move, and have their being. Through his grace they are made manifest, and unto him they all return. From him all things have sprung, and unto the treasures of his revelation they have all repaired. From him all created things did proceed, and to the depositories of his law they did revert. Baha'u'llah.
O friend of mine, the Word of God is the King of words, and its pervasive influence is incalculable. It hath ever dominated and will continue to dominate the realm of being. The great being saith, the Word is the master key for the whole world, inasmuch as through its potency the doors of the hearts of men, which in reality are the doors of heaven, are unlocked. No sooner had but a glimmer of its effulgent splendor shone forth upon the mirror of love, than the blessed word, I am the best beloved, was reflected therein. It is an ocean inexhaustible in riches, comprehending all things. Everything which can be perceived is but an emanation therefrom. High, immeasurably high, is this sublime station, in whose shadow moveth the essence of loftiness and splendor, wrapped in praise and adoration. Methinks people's sense of taste hath, alas, been sorely affected by the fever of negligence and folly, for they are found to be wholly unconscious and deprived of the sweetness of his utterance. How regrettable indeed that man should debar himself from the fruits of the tree of wisdom, while his days and hours pass swiftly away. Please God, the hand of divine power may safeguard all mankind and direct their steps towards the horizon of true understanding.
The one true God may be compared unto the sun, and the believer unto a mirror. No sooner is the mirror placed before the sun than it reflects its light. The unbeliever may be likened unto a stone. No matter how long it is exposed to the sunshine, it cannot reflect the sun. Thus the former layeth down his life as a sacrifice, while the latter doeth against God what he committeth. Indeed, if God willeth, he is potent to turn the stone into a mirror, but the person himself remaineth reconciled to his state. Had he wished to become a crystal, God would have made him to assume crystal form. For on that day, whatever cause prompteth the believer to believe in him, the same will also be available to the unbeliever. But when the latter suffereth himself to be wrapped in veils, the same cause shutteth him out, as by a veil. Thus, as is clearly evident today, those who have set their faces toward God, the true one, have believed in him because of the Bahá'í, while such as are veiled have been deprived because of it. The Bab. These energies with which the day star of divine bounty and source of heavenly guidance hath endowed the reality of man lie, however, latent within him, even as the flame is hidden within the candle, and the rays of light are potentially present in the lamp. The radiance of these energies may be obscured by worldly desires, even as the light of the sun can be concealed beneath the dust and dross which cover the mirror. Neither the candle nor the lamp can be lighted through their own unaided efforts, nor can it ever be possible for the mirror to free itself from its dross. It is clear and evident that until a fire is kindled, the lamp will never be ignited, and unless the dross is blotted out from the face of the mirror, it can never represent the image of the sun, nor reflect its light and glory. A pure and stainless soul be made manifest in the kingdoms of earth and heaven, led by the light of unfailing guidance and invested with supreme sovereignty. They are commissioned to use the inspiration of their words, the effusions of their infallible grace, and the sanctifying breeze of their revelation for the cleansing of every longing heart and receptive spirit from the dross and dust of earthly cares and limitations. Then, and only then, will the trust of God, latent in the reality of man, emerge as resplendent as the rising orb of divine revelation from behind the veil of concealment, and implant the ensign of its revealed glory upon the summits of men's hearts. Baha'u'llah. Now amidst all the peoples of the world must the beloved arise, with a heart even as the day star, a strong inward urge, a shining brow, a musk-scented breath, a tongue speaking ever of God, an exposition crystal clear, a high resolve, a power born of heaven, a spiritual character, a confirmation nothing short of the divine. Let them one and all become as a splendor on the horizon of heaven, and in the skies of the world a dazzling star. Let them be fruitful trees in the celestial bowers, sweet-scented blooms in the divine gardens. Let them be verses of perfection on the pages of the universe, words of oneness in the book of life. This is the first age and the early beginnings of the dispensation of the most great light. Wherefore, within this century, virtues must be acquired. Goodly qualities must be perfected within the span of time. In these very days, the Abha paradise must pitch its pavilions on the plains of the world. The lights of reality must now be revealed, and the secrets of God's bestowals must now be made known. And now must the olden grace shine forth, and this world change into the pleasure ground of heaven, the garden of God. And out of pure hearts and through heavenly bounties, all the perfections, qualities, and attributes of the divine must now be made manifest. Abdul Baha.